Hey everyone, missing you at the studio, here in my basement. And today I'm going to do one of my favorite grounding flows. So it'll be just a little bit slower moving than what you normally see in my classes, but particularly good for those of you that are maybe experiencing an increase in stress and anxiety, or maybe you are trying to homeschool your kids right now and they're driving you crazy. Not speaking for myself. So anyway, we're going to get started and shouldn't really need anything today other than your mat. If you have a block, maybe, but otherwise you won't need any other props. We're going to start just in a hero pose, so seated on your heels. So here's where you might want a block. If you have it, you may want to place a block underneath your seat if sitting on your heels is too much for you. And we're going to be here for a few moments, so kind of take your time getting comfortable. And I'll provide the playlist for this class, if you follow me on Spotify, is labeled Grounding Flow, so you can have that at your disposal whenever you need it. Okay, so just sitting up nice and tall. Hands can be wherever you'd like. Maybe just a slight tuck of the chin, elongate the back of the neck. Almost imagine the crown of the head's reaching out towards the ceiling. Just a nice natural breath here to start. Give yourself permission to quiet your mind. Let go of any expectations, any worries, at least for just this little time that we have on the mat. Just a nice steady breath here. Maybe start to draw a little more awareness to that breath. Take nice full inhales through the nose. And complete exhales. You can even take a moment to maybe notice the sensation of the earth beneath you. That full support, that stability, that security. Maybe take one nice big inhale through the nose. And with that slight constriction at the back of the throat, open mouth exhale, let it go. And then we'll start by interlacing the hands and just kind of place them at the bottom of your rib cage. And just pause here for a moment, just noticing the expansion of the rib cage in all four directions. We'll take one more nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, go ahead and rotate the hands so the palms are facing forward and kind of just cat the back forward on your exhale. And then on your inhale, reach those hands up to the sky, palms facing the ceiling. Inhale, keep that tailbone tucked. And then exhale, cat the back. Inhale, draw it up. those shoulders dropped away from the ears. And just move with this flow here. Find your own breath. We'll just take a couple more. One more big inhale. And then exhale those hands down to the earth. Just pause here for a moment. Again, noticing that stability, that strength, that support of the earth beneath you. Just breathe. And then slowly start to walk those hands forward into a tabletop form. Wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, toes are untucked. You can even pat them out a little bit if you need to. And we'll take a couple more cat and cows here, just moving with your own breath. Exhale, pressing into those hands, round the back. Let the head be the last thing to drop. Inhale, cow. Exhale. One more cat. Nice neutral spine. Then bring those big toes together. Spread those knees nice and wide. Press it back to a child's pose. Just for a moment here. Let the forehead rest onto the mat. Keep those hands invigorated. Even when we're in child's pose, our hands and our arms, they're awake. They're activated. Couple of nice deep breaths here. And you can stay right here through center. If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch in here, as you'd like, maybe walk the hands off to the right, reaching nice and long with that right hand or that left hand. And maybe back through center. And off the other direction. Back through center. Spread those fingertips out nice and wide. Remember the cat, the back all the way up. Start to tuck those toes and hover the knees. And peel yourself back into your first downward facing dog. Maybe taking some nice deep knee bends here, working out all those little movements, really just settling in. Spread those fingers out nice and wide. And just seeing if you can find that stillness. Throughout today's practice, I'm going to encourage you to just kind of flood your awareness with this sense of strength, this sense of stability. We'll be drawing attention to the tailbone, keeping the pelvic floor engaged. We'll have some longer holds throughout our practice today. So if at any point in time you feel the urge to move or get out of it or fidget, maybe just remind yourself that you're okay, you're safe, you're strong, and you're capable. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to just walk our way to the front of the mat, slow and controlled. Just taking our first forward fold here. Any forward fold is perfectly fine, but bend your knees as much as you need to, maybe even over exaggerate it here this first time, so that the belly can almost just rest onto the thighs. And release the neck and head, just let it hang. Maybe wrap up the legs if you want to take it a little bit deeper. Any arms is just fine. Nice steady breath.
Start to walk those hands back through center to the earth. And we'll take our first halfway lift on an inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down. Now slow and controlled, one vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself all the way to standing, no rush. Making your way to standing mountain pose. So root down through the feet, standing up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders down and back. Again, slight tuck of the chin, elongate the back of the neck. Breathe. On your next inhale, sweep those arms up high. Inhale. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring those hands down, and at the same time, step back with that left foot. Go ahead, drop that left knee down. You can untuck those toes, sweep up into a kneeling lunge. Just breathe here for a moment. Melting into that left thigh. Shoulders are soft, face is soft. Take one more nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, bring those hands down. Tuck those left toes right away, left steps to meet right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, and at the same time, right foot steps back this time. Drop that right knee, sweep up on your inhale. Untuck those right toes. Make sure those right toes are pointed straight back and not sickling in or out. Just breathe here, sinking into that hip, breathing into any tightness. Keeping that pelvic floor engaged. One more nice big inhale. Exhale, bring those hands down, tuck those toes, same thing, right steps to meet left. Now we're going to bring this into a little bit of a flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with the left. We're going to keep the toes tucked this time. Sweep up on your inhale. Come down on your exhale, and at the same time, left meets right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with that right. Sweep up on your inhale. Bring it down on your exhale and step. Halfway lift. We're going to keep moving through this flow a few times. Inhale. Exhale and step. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step right. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hands down and step. Halfway lift. Exhale, step. You've got it. If we get ahead or behind of each other, it's totally fine. Just move with your breath here, yogis. This is your practice. It's for you, no one else. It's our last time here. Hands down, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. This time, let's sweep all the way up to standing. Maybe look up. Hands down, exhale, standing mountain pose and breathe. Moving right along. On your inhale, sweep those arms up high. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands come down. This first time, we're going to step it all the way back. You can come to your knees if you need to, yogis. We're going to lower all the way down to the mat, one piece. Untuck those toes. Taking full prostration just one time. So draw those hands out in front of you. You can find prayer if you'd like. Toes are untucked. And just a complete surrender into the earth. Rest that forehead on the mat. We'll be here for about 3 breaths. So again, just drawing your awareness to that sense of gratitude, that sense of stability and strength. Just notice how the earth is fully supporting you. Nice, soft, steady breath. Start to slide those hands back underneath the shoulders. Press up, flat back, tuck those toes. Send it up and back, downward facing dog, and breathe. We'll be here for about 3 breaths. On your next inhale, you can start to make your way to the front, maybe walking, stepping, or floating, however you want to get there. But then right away on your inhale, find a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing, root down to rise all the way up. Hands down, standing mountain pose, breathe. Inhale, sweep those arms up high. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, taking your first chaturanga, so toes, knees, whatever you've got is perfectly fine. You decide, lower down half or all the way to your belly. Flip those toes upward facing dog, pull those shoulders down and back. Exhale to downward facing dog and breathe. Here for 3 breaths. Start to make your way on your inhale, walk, step, or float. Find your inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up. Standing mountain pose, exhale. One more time through A. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Downward facing dog. And now we're going to start to move it along a little bit, yogis. Let's inhale that right leg high, still squaring up those hips. See if you can draw those right toes more towards the earth. And then on your exhale, draw it in, knee to nose, squeeze. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, we're going to drive it all the way through. Plant that back foot, and we're going to cartwheel open warrior 2. So take your time to settle in here. We'll be here for several breaths. Sinking towards 90 in that front knee. Pressing pinky toe side of the back foot. Soft gaze right over those front fingertips. Breathe. Couple more breaths here. See if you can keep that mind quiet. Bringing awareness back to that breath, maybe even awareness to the earth beneath you, that strength and stability. Now on your next inhale, we're going to pull straight. Find 10 and 2 in the feet, sinking into a horse pose. Tuck that tailbone. Pelvic floor is engaged, chest is lifted. Pressing open those knees to the door behind you or wall or whatever's behind you. Just hold and breathe, maybe smile.
3 more breaths here. Now if you'd like to add in a little bit of movement, maybe exhale, inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Couple more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale, hold in that goddess pose, hands, heart, center, and breathe. Take a nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, we're gonna pivot into warrior 2 to the back. Same thing here. Sink and breathe. So strong, so stable. Maybe check in with that front knee, just making sure it's not rotating in, but opening up. May need to walk those left toes open a little bit. Breathe. Couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, pull up, start to straighten. This time, slight pigeon toe of the feet. Exhale, flat back, taking a wide leg forward fold. Any arms here is just fine, yogis, but we want to wrap a little more weight into our toes. Hollow out that belly, let that head hang. Nice, steady breath. If they're not already there, walk those hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a nice inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And then we're gonna walk it back to the front of the mat. And we're gonna drop that left knee, untuck those toes, and we're right back where we started into that kneeling crescent. Getting right back to that foundation, that stability, the support of the earth. Pelvic floor is engaged. Breathe. One more big inhale. Exhale those hands down. Tuck those left toes. Step back, high plank. And we'll wash through our vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog and breathe. Inhale that left leg high. Same thing, exhale, squeeze knee to nose, draw it in. Inhale, lift it high. Drive it all the way through. Same thing, warrior 2, plant that back foot. Now my back's gonna be to you. Just breathing and holding. So almost imagine the feet are trying to kind of rip that mat apart. You're so strong, you're so stable. On your next inhale, go ahead and straighten out that front leg. Maybe shorten your stance slightly. Reach out, keeping those hips nice and stable. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Doesn't matter how far you go down here, yogis. We're trying not to dump into that left side, but we're lengthening out both sides of the body. That left leg is straight, not locked out. Full inhale is going to bring you all the way up. Find that 10 and 2 here, sinking into that goddess pose. Same thing. Breathe. Tuck that tailbone, chest is lifted. Keep that pelvic floor engaged. Maybe you can just imagine for a moment that gravitational pull of the earth.
Just hold and breathe. Now if you want to add movement, this is totally optional. If you find that you are kind of shaky in the movement, maybe you want to just stay here grounded. Otherwise, maybe on your inhale, sweep it up and open. Exhale, sink, draw it in, keeping that pelvic floor engaged. Inhale, press up. Exhale, sink. Inhale. Exhale. Lift it high. This time, hold in that goddess pose, hands heart center. Chest is lifted. Nice big inhale. And then pivot, change, warrior two to the back. Just sink and hold. Like I said, not a lot of movement in this practice, which sometimes I think we kind of default to. We feel the need to move, when we actually can benefit from some stillness. Got about 3 more here. On your next inhale, go ahead and straighten that front leg, maybe shorten your stance. Reach it out, keeping those hips as stable as possible. Exhale it down, triangle pose. Opening up that left shoulder. Try not to hold your breath, nice and steady. On your next inhale, pull it all the way up. Finding that slight pigeon toe now. Same thing, prasarita fold. You can bend the knees here if you need to, whatever you need in order to get this wide leg forward fold. Soften that neck though, let the head hang. Nice steady breath. Bring those hands back underneath the shoulders if they're not already there. Flat back, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches. Walk it to the front of the mat. And again, we're gonna just drop that right knee, untuck those right toes, sweep up, Anjane. Just breathe. And then exhale those hands down, tuck those right toes, step that left foot back. When you're ready, take your vinyasa. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Just breathe. Now we'll inhale that right leg high, yogis. And we're gonna just drive it all the way through, taking our half pigeon. So you can untuck those left toes, making sure those left toes are pointed straight back. And if this right hip doesn't quite come to the earth, if you've got a block, you can place it underneath there. We'll be here for several breaths. So if you have the availability to lay it out, take it where you'd like. Start to walk yourself back up, no rush. Untuck those left, or tuck those left toes, excuse me. Press it back, downward facing dog, and breathe. in, untuck those right toes, and just settle in. Again, at this left hip, I should grab my blocks. Normally I place a block underneath my hip because I don't have quite as much availability in my hips. Just breathing in any spaces that still are holding tension. Just breathing into that space. And just letting the body be fully supported by the earth beneath you. Start to walk yourself back up when you're ready, no rush. Tuck those right toes, send it back, downward facing dog. And then start to walk yourself to the front of the mat here. Forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bring those hands down, lift those heels, drop the hips to the heels. And just get a nice little spinal twist here. Maybe walk those hands off to the right, chest stays lifted. Keep those knees together as much as you can. Walk it back through center. And then off to the left. Walk it back through center. And slow and controlled, drop the feet. Rolling all the way down to our backs for a bridge pose. Draw the heels towards the glutes. And on your inhale, press those hips up high, drawing those knees together, not letting them splay open. Option to interlace the hands underneath the lower back sacrum. Press into the arms. No pressure in the neck here. You're welcome to come into full wheel if it's part of your practice. You decide. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop the seat back down to the mat. And send the legs long here, yogis. Let's take a nice full body stretch. Extend those arms up overhead. Just reach it nice and long, but in the meantime, still letting that body just soften into the earth. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and draw the right knee into the chest for a wind relieving pose. Just a nice easy squeeze. Maybe rolling out the ankle. And then when you're ready, and only if you'd like, you can drop this right knee off to the left-hand side for a nice, easy twist. Bring that knee back through center. Extend it long, full body stretch. Maybe even give the head a little side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll take a wind relieving pose on the other side. Draw the left knee in. Moving at your own pace, you can use that right hand to help you draw the left knee over. And bring it back through center. And right, we'll gather both of those knees into the chest. And just pause here for a moment. Imagine the entire length of the spine is touching the mat all the way to the tailbone. Fully supported. If you'd like, maybe finishing off with a happy baby pose, wrapping up the outsides of the feet, inviting in all the gratitude for everything that this earth provides. Even in a time of uncertainty, a time of maybe despair for some people, we have everything we need. And you're welcome to settle in for a nice long Shavasana if time allows. So go ahead and lay it on out onto your mat, palms face up. Let those feet drape open. Yogis, I'm going to just leave you be in this position. So there's no rush to move. Just absorb this time of stillness and peace. And thank you for being here. I hope you continue to stay well. We can't wait to see you back in the studio. Namaste.